Welcome to the Lorne Epstein Show. I'm your host, Lorne Epstein, here on 96.7 FM, Arlington, Virginia. We are recording from Unleash in Las Vegas, Nevada. And today I have a really cool guest. I can't say that often, but this is a very cool guest because he's got some cool technology. And while we can't show it to you, we are going to talk about it. So while the discussion about augmented reality has been focused on the incredible potential and that this technology will present in now and in years to come across all aspects of our lives, what has been getting less attention is that augmented reality is delivering results today. So with me, I have Roy Ashok, who's the Chief Executive Officer of DAQRI. DAQRI is doing some really cool stuff, professional grade augmented reality. So Roy, in his role as the CEO, is responsible for developing the DAQRI product strategy and roadmap, and for bringing those products and technologies to market. He draws on his previous augmented reality technology development experience as Director, Product Management at Qualcomm and Vuforia? Vuforia, okay. Yeah. Vuforia, interesting. Interesting. to the show, Roy.
Oh, thank you, Lon.
So tell me, what got you into augmented reality?
Actually, I've been in AR for about 10 years now, and it was really by accident. Back in 2010, when I was at Qualcomm, Qualcomm really wanted to explore technologies outside of the core wireless business. And they said, go off and find new things for the company. And it was really when we looked at the landscape of technologies that could disrupt our lives in the coming years, AR was up there and computer vision was up there as well. So we started looking at it, and that's how the Vuforia project was born at Qualcomm. So long before you had augmented reality and AR kit and AR core on iPhones and Android devices today, Vuforia did the same thing, and we did that, launched it back in 2010. And even today, it is actually pretty much the dominant cross-platform solution for mobile AR. So that's how I got started in AR on mobile phones and tablets. DAQRI came along, was part of the Vuforia ecosystem, building applications. And then over time, we said, the real value in AR is not so much with consumers, but it's in helping people do their jobs better. Learn how to do your job, and then do it better with AR. Right?
So let's tell folks who don't know anything about AR.
Yeah.
What is it? What does it mean? What does it look like?
I'm willing to bet that each one of your listeners has actually experienced AR in their lives without realizing it.
Okay, but what is it?
The textbook definition of AR is when you put digital content in a live camera view of the real world in real time. Okay, so three aspects. There's a camera view, there's digital content, and there's real time, and they have to come together. So football, you watch football?
Oh, yes.
Right? Okay, good.
Go Redskins.
Okay, we'll stay out of that part.
He's from San Diego.
I'm from San Diego. I lost my team. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that one. But the first down line on TV is AR. The yellow line is an example of AR. It does not exist in the real world. It's digital, and it's superimposed on the camera feed that's broadcast to your TV in real time in a nice way and a seamless way, and you just think it's in the real world. Right? That's AR. And it's been with us forever, but now that technology is actually accessible, and we've brought that to phones first, hardware that consumers know, that workforces have, and now glasses, where you go into a hands-free environment. So when you put your glasses, so we've built a pair of AR glasses, where you put them on, and it actually shows you digital instructions on how to repair something.
So that's cool.
That's
so
cool.
Let's break this down for a second. So my clothes dryer broke.
Okay.
And what happened was that it's one of those front-loading things, and the plastic melted, I think, before we even got there, and so the water started leaking out, and I'm like, if I call the guy, it's going to cost me a fortune.
Right.
So I go on YouTube, and I just typed in repair and my washer.
Yeah.
Boom. A video came up of a guy repairing my washer, and it was like $20 in parts, right? Yeah. So I had while I'm doing this, I got the part, it was $20, I had to watch the video. But what you're saying is that, forget about that.
Yeah.
Just throw on my glasses.
That's right.
Look at the thing, and it's just gonna walk me through step by step.
It's going to draw arrows right where the plastic is broken. You'll see like a circle, and it'll say, take that off. Now, remove these screws next.
And it'll know when I'm doing it?
It'll know
as I'm moving along.
Correct. Yeah.
So it'll instruct me not at its pace, but at my pace.
At your pace, and think of it as a 3D instruction manual.
Right.
Right? That's always there for you whenever you want.
Like
right?
That's That's wild, right?
That's wild. And businesses are waking up to this possibility because now the technology is there to do it. They see the value and the ROI. It's very, very clear. And let's go from your washing machine to a turbine, right? You can't call somebody for help. An entire team has to be flown from someplace remotely to wherever your turbine's located, whether it's on an oil rig, whether it's in a factory in Wisconsin. And so there's always teams of people that are monitoring these machines remotely, and anytime it goes down, the first thing they do is they jump on a plane and they go there.
Right.
The turbine's down for that period of time.
Right.
Downtime is huge in businesses. So anything we can do to reduce downtime goes a long way towards productivity.
Right.
So turbine goes down, the worker immediately puts the glasses on. He calls, there's an app.
And the glasses have a camera on the other side.
The glasses have cameras on the other side, has a lot of sensors on the other side. Camera, three-dimensional depth sensors, IMUs, so it knows exactly where you are and what you're
IMUs?
looking. Yeah, it's an inertial measurement unit, like a gyroscope and an accelerometer.
So it measures location?
Measures acceleration and orientation. Think of it like that. So it knows, so if you put the glasses on, I need to know where I'm looking and what I'm looking at. Those are the two things.
So it gets its space. It knows where it is in space.
Exactly. It knows, in fact, exactly. To boil it down to the simplest thing, you need to know where you are in 3D space at all times.
Right.
That's what it is, right?
I have that problem right now.
We all do at some level. But workers, very acute. When the turbine goes down, they wear the glasses. There's a 3D instructional manual that walks them through a repair procedure. If they're not able to repair it, they can call the remote technician who doesn't have to fly, but who can actually see what the worker is seeing through the camera, annotate in the world and say, yeah, you did 90% of it right, but here's the step that you missed, and then helps them to fix it. So yes, it's down, but it's down for fewer hours or fewer minutes. And even if you reduce a turbine's downtime by 1 hour, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions in many cases.
And I imagine field hospitals could use this with
telemedicine.
Doing surgery.
Yes, absolutely.
So a friend of mine was telling me about this, and he said, you could put these glasses on in your house and see the inside of the gap. You could try stuff on and buy stuff without leaving your couch.
You can, absolutely. See before you buy is a very, very common example. I want to plan this room out, right? And I want to put a, let's see.
It's just wild.
It is wild. So the possibilities are endless, actually.
Sure.
Right? So the way I think about it is, you had, back in the 60s and 70s, you had a mainframe, and there was data being crunched on it. Then you had the desktop and the laptop, and that fundamentally changed how we interacted with data. Then you had a mobile phone, and that changed interaction and workflows and productivity. All these are new computing paradigms. And augmented reality is not a technology as such, but it is a new computing paradigm, because this is now on your head. Because for too long, we have been trapped in this two-dimensional screen when we can sense the world in 3D. Like you and I perceive this world in 3D. Everything is three-dimensional. But then we took that data and we put it on a 2D screen, right? And now with AR, it allows you to sort of free it up and put that data back in context with the specific objects in the world. And that's why I think fundamentally this is very, very disruptive in the sense that, we go from every generation of computing unleashes dramatic gains in productivity and changes.
So what, I know people listening going like, wow, that's kind of cool, right? And that, that'll happen like, in the future.
Yeah.
But
it's happening today.
Yeah, so what can you do right now?
So,
like right now, could I go out to a store? What can I solve?
Yeah, it's not so much a consumer phenomenon as yet. It is an enterprise phenomenon. So we have more than 100 Fortune 500 companies, right? I'm talking about Siemens, Rolls-Royce, Safran.
And what are they using it for?
Yeah, so they used it mostly for helping their workers do their jobs better in production workflows. So there's the worker in, let's say we have an automaker in Germany, one of the largest ones, that's put it on their workforce. And every time the line goes down because there's a problem, they put the glasses on and they try to diagnose the problem. And if they can't, they ask for help and somebody remotely helps them without having to come down.
Right now, today?
This is right now.
Yeah.
This is being used right now.
Because I know that part of your ad is kind of like professional grade.
Right.
Right, so professional grade is very high quality.
Yeah.
It's like we can make this as best as we can make it because businesses are using it.
Correct.
They can afford to get the best.
That's right.
The best.
And honestly, the technology curves where they are today, it is ideal for enterprise. What we call the intersection of complex tasks and high-value assets. So high-value assets tend to be machinery, production plants, factories, vehicles, industrial vehicles, and complex tasks are design, build, operate, retrofit.
So that was another question I had.
Yeah.
So when people are thinking like, could I use this for my business or my life?
Yeah.
They have to be thinking about a task that's complex.
Yes.
And something that has high value.
Yeah, that's generally where that's the right
The
fit
sweet spot.
for AR. Yeah, that's
so
the
where
sweet
it
spot.
wouldn't be would be like buttering my bread,
No.
right?
No. Or you know, at least the word.
Well, how about how to write, like writing?
Writing, like teaching you how to write.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some interesting consumer applications there where you can teach kids. I can tell you, kids go nuts over these things. I put this on I have 2 kids, 4 and 7. They fight over it all the time because we have this really cool, somewhat consumerish application where you learn about the solar system. It's a demonstration, but they use that all the time.
Do you have the demo here?
Yeah, I do actually.
Oh, okay.
You can try it
Yeah,
out.
can we try it on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can try it on. But those are that's where that's sort of going into the consumer realm.
Yeah.
The problem is that to make this a mass consumer phenomenon, today that'll work on a phone. So yes, see before you buy. I want to see the lamp or the TV before I buy it. Yes, that works. And I want to plan my room out at home. Those kind of things work on a phone today, phone-based AR. But those tasks tend to be one-off. Like how often are you buying a TV, right? And so that's where the value for companies and what kinds of applications.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask, right? Yeah.
I wonder who buys TVs all the time because they're constantly selling.
I'll tell you, I've bought one TV in the last 10 years.
Yeah, us too.
Right?
I think we bought a TV 12 years ago.
Yeah.
We haven't
So it's not a repetitive task.
Right.
So the sweet spot is finding those repetitive tasks. And that's why I think AR games, that helps. There are for consumers, that's what makes sense. But businesses, really, you want to find what's the most complex task you're performing? How are you doing it today? There's and if it's taking X amount of time, with AR, we found that it generally takes 1/10 of the time.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a very common ROI statistic, not just from DAQRI, but you'll see it all over the industry.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So, it's fairly mature.
Yep.
Right, as a product, and it seems like maybe where we were with PCs, like in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah,
right? There's a lot of businesses use PCs in complex tasks, but people didn't necessarily have
right.
them.
Yeah.
Right.
Not yet.
But then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
they got cheaper and cheaper, and now everyone's got
That's right.
a PC on their phone.
Yeah.
So if it becomes ubiquitous, if it becomes like my phone, and virtual reality is just like that, can I start using it for lower value, lower complexity?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be part of your life. So one view that I've always, a vision that we talked about a while ago is something like this, right? So if you're working at, let's say you're a factory worker, right? You use your glasses at work, no doubt about it. That's for repair, for giving you checklists, tells you what to do, compliance, all of that. At the end of the shift, you take your glasses off, your professional grade glasses off, and then you put on a slightly lower spec consumer glasses, and now it gives you a different checklist. It's called the honey-do list. Go. I get that all the time. Before you come home, go do all these things.
Is your wife asking you to make this for her? Thank you.
That has come up.
Thank you.
That has come
so
up.
So we can all thank Roy and Roy's wife.
Yeah, so that's a so different type of checklist now, but then it gives you directions to where you parked your car. Right? And you walk up to your car, the car door automatically unlocks, you get in, you take the glasses off and put it down, and then all that transfers to the head-up display in your car. And now you get directions on the road as you drive your car to where your first task is.
Sure.
So, and then you come home and you take the glasses and put it on the table, and you have a different kind of an AR experience where it becomes. Think of it as it becomes an interface to the physical objects in your home, right?
So you're talking about glasses, right? So glasses are kind of clumsy, and people don't want to wear glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not like a thing that we do. And the virtual reality glasses, they're not a thing to work with.
Yeah.
And, you can do projection screen.
Yeah.
Right. So I've heard of people talking about this stuff. Forget about the glasses. these are not the glasses you're looking
Yeah.
for. What can you say about that?
Yeah, I think they're right. Glasses, you can pay somebody to wear the kind of glasses we have, which is why it makes sense for enterprise and workers. It is not yet a consumer phenomenon. These have to be they have to come closer and closer to sunglasses. It'll never get to sort of the simple frames like what you're wearing here, Andy. It would never be that simple.
Could it be? Well, you know, we'll talk more. We'll take a quick break.
Okay.
So you've been listening to the Lorne Epstein Show. I'm your host, Lorne Epstein. I'm here with Roy Ashok, who's the Chief Executive Officer of DAQRI. We're going to be back in just a minute. Hi, my name's Lorne Epstein, and every week at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock on Mondays, I talk about jobs and careers and the workplace. We've done shows on pot in the workplace, the salary secrecy laws, and how to write a resume. I'm inviting you to come on our show. If you're interested or have show ideas, you can give me a call at 240-876-0276 or email me at lorne@electriccow.com. Or you can go to our webpage at lorneepstein.com or our Facebook page, which is also Lorne Epstein, and our Mixcloud account is, and you guessed it, Lorne Epstein at mixcloud.com. Hope to see you here on the show soon. So welcome back. I'm your host, Lorne Epstein, and we are here with Roy Ashok talking about virtual reality. So what about projectors, right? Yeah. So let's say I walk into my house, right? And I see my wife and I see my kid, but my kid's not there, right? The augmented reality is laying my kid over my, they're there, but they're at camp or at school. And we all sit down and we have dinner together.
That's right.
We talking fantasy land?
No. I think the vision is there, and I'm saying that I've seen systems like these in labs, so it's not completely out of the realm of reality.
Yeah.
You're right. I think in the home there's definitely a different kind of form factor, and it is something like a projected device, where you put it on a table and it projects something on the wall or on the table or on the floor or just around it, so you can interact with it. There's been some work in that space. Nothing to the point that you would say, wow, this is actually near-term commercial. But I think in the next 5 years, you'll definitely see devices like that.
And I heard some scientists is building a haptic feedback, so that it's like a glove where you feel pressure, as you're touching something, but you're not touching something.
Yeah.
So, if you can have that, then I can go over to my child and give them a hug.
Right.
And it would be like feeling my kid.
Yeah. That is cool.
That's cool, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not there, but I can.
And again,
now we're talking holodeck stuff.
Almost.
But we could get
there. Yeah. But I think you're right. The thing about, we talked about computing paradigms, and one of the reasons I say this is a new one is because of these the accessories that you just talked about, like haptic gloves and that kind of feedback. You need all those things to complete a consumer experience. Otherwise, it feels very banal and bland.
Right.
And the user experience is poor.
Yeah, I mean, so I know that some people have been talking and have done where you can, implant computers.
Yeah.
There was recently, I forget who said, they showed somebody controlling a screen, someone typing with connected to their brain.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like
I haven't seen that particular one, but I've seen brain-computer interfaces before.
Yeah, brain computing. Yeah. So if you can have brain computing, and you don't touch, you don't feel with your fingers.
Yeah.
You feel with your brain.
Yeah.
You smell with your brain. Everything happens with the brain. Yeah. So if you can hijack that and have like a little implant where it'll realize what you're doing in the outside world and make that into a real experience.
Yeah,
and we're not talking fantasy, right? The pieces are there.
The pieces are there.
Yeah, the seeds are there.
The seeds are there. There's a lot of research going on into BCI systems or brain-computer interface systems to do exactly those things. And I've seen demonstrations where people wear electrodes on their forehead and one at the back just to control the light in a room.
Yeah.
Just by thinking, I want to turn that off. It takes some training. It takes some getting used to. Saying,
I could just see
to think.
There's gonna be a piece of software that that my wife can control me like a light bulb.
I think we all need a little bit of that. It's coming. It's definitely coming. That is much further out, I will say.
But when you say much further out,
I think my view is that
10 years.
Yeah, I think it's a 10 year.
10 years. That's nothing.
It's a decade.
Yeah, but it's 2018. You remember 2008? Right? That was
just like yesterday.
Yeah.
Sure. I think in about 10 years, you will see much more, many more accessories around perceptive computing. So this ability to sense the world.
Yeah.
So whether those are gloves, whether that's through your brain, those things are definitely in the realm of possibility.
And I know, like a lot of, my contemporaries, my generation, there's a certain amount of fear of technology, but I have to say, with what we're talking about now, I just totally embrace it. Like, there is nothing in this in my mind that says danger. Like, I don't see any drawbacks. Do you? I mean, I know this is your business. I don't want to talk bad about your business, but do you think that there's anything we have to be aware of?
I think I should say that with everything, it's a balance of how much you want technology to influence your lives. Like we always think about phones today. My kids have phones. They're very young when they have phones. We're like, okay, we need to limit their screen time because that's all they do. And so with all these things, you will have to fight that balance as to what you want in your lifestyle. But there's nothing to fundamentally fear of this thing, right? There's no like, it's going to take over your brain because you had some connection to it and it's going to force you to do something. No, there's nothing like that. Technology is always subservient to humans. There's no two ways about it. And I don't believe in a dystopian future where AI controls everything. That just doesn't make any sense.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. So the devices that you're putting on people, they know their where they are in space and time and how that moves around. Is that data being used to manage processes or watch processes or like, hey, I can see what someone's doing?
We don't remotely monitor anybody. None of this data is actually coming back to our systems. However, organizations will deploy it within their environments. And they'll want to measure workforce productivity.
Right. I mean, I could just see like a football player, like a professional football player, having something like this on, and then his coach saying, "Move a little to the right," or do this, or do that.
Managed football games. Well,
I mean, that's a case where you want to have the person do something in a specific way. Or surgeons, right? They'll like, hey, you're doing this, just a little bit differently, and it'll be better.
Right. So surgeons, absolutely right. We've already seen this. We have people looking over their shoulders and looking, and so those things will just naturally transition to a place where I'm wearing a pair of glasses and somebody is like directing me or double checking what I'm doing, making sure I'm not messing it up. Right. So you always have those things. I can certainly see it. So taking that to the football field, yes, you can have things like that. Those. I mean, the use cases are sort of almost limitless, right, at that point. And that's why, again, I go back to this notion of it is fundamentally a new way to think about, think and visualize data. And so that will change the devices, the accessories, the workflows, right? You can't just bring this device into the production workflow and then not think about what's going to happen upstream and downstream, right? You can't make one person more productive. This is a workforce thing. This is a team thing. This is a family thing. You've got to embrace the whole concept.
So, what kind of return on investment are folks seeing with this in the business world?
They're actually phenomenal. Is the short answer. Where there's a lot of published case studies where they're seeing ROIs in excess of 80-90%. You do a task and it takes X amount of time. We have. Siemens, for example, they're trying to train new employees in servicing a gas burner for a turbine. And that takes...
A gas burner for a power turbine.
For a power turbine. And that's like a really complex task. And the final step of that task is a live training facility. That takes a day. With AR, they were able to do it in an hour.
Wow.
Right? So those kinds of, now it doesn't mean that they'll just do once, they'll probably do it 2 or 3 times.
Sure.
But it gives them repeat opportunities and better learning outcomes, right? And no matter how many times you do it, it's still much, much, much cheaper than the alternative. So
flying people to
flying people around, it's people, other people helping you, so knowledge transfer is a problem. City of LA.
Plus, I want to say learning by doing is, in my mind, the best way to learn.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. I mean, experiential learning is the model that I think we try to achieve.
Exactly. It's not just classroom. And exponential learning without taking the system down is even better because now you don't have downtime.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And that's where we've seen a lot of people
Plus, you can probably do all kinds of simulations of things breaking.
Exactly.
The worst case scenarios.
Yeah. You can see all the worst case scenarios in a live production facility without actually
Oh my goodness. Like, what if I was like, if I could use this in my own life? Like, I'm wearing the glasses and I'm hiking.
Yeah.
And the computer goes like, you go this way, you're going to die. You go that way and you're going to live. Like, imagine like rock climbers, right? People who are trying to make these complex decisions and getting that kind of assist with...
Absolutely. Like maybe, and you can get up to real-time data saying, hey, somebody else who went up this rock face just 2 hours ago reported some condition up there, which is now like back to you.
So now it's social.
And it's social too, right? Or they left a note. They left a virtual note for you there saying, don't go up that way, go the other way.
Okay, dating. I mean, like you could go out on a date, like go to a bar and get advice on like...
I'm not going to comment on that one. I'll get into trouble on that one.
So the we know it's like the limitless future.
Yes.
It's here now.
It's here now. It's beginning.
It's really cool. It's really cool. Is there anything else you want to share with us? Like some of the aha moments that you've had while you're in this industry?
I think for me, what I've been very pleasantly surprised, and actually at some level it's I feel very content about it, is the impact it's had on industries where, or organizations where knowledge transfer has been a problem. So I'll give you an example with the city of Los Angeles right now. They have these, emergency service workers. They wear these very interesting headphones.
Emergency
service workers.
Yeah, sure.
They wear these headphones, right? Those headphones are very hard to service.
You mean like a fireman?
Yeah, like a fireman. Even police sometimes wear these big headphones out there. They're very specialized piece of equipment. The city of LA has one person who knows how to service those. And so they have a problem, not just in a single point of failure, but this person will also retire at some point, and there's no one else to transfer that knowledge to. Or how do you even transfer that, right? So they built an AR application that trained interns in like 5 to 10 minutes on how to fix these things.
Wow.
So there's a huge amount of skill transfer, knowledge transfer, and skill elevation for people.
Do you remember the movie Scanners?
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, it was back in the 80s.
Okay.
But it was about like recording my experience and then someone else could have my experience.
Okay, yeah.
So could I use AR?
Right.
And I'm the guy who's fixing these headphones. Yeah. And I have it on and now I'm fixing it.
Yes.
And it's recording what I'm doing.
Yes.
And then that's the training for someone else?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, that's wild because then you get your best practitioner basically doing the thing and then it becomes repeatable throughout the organization. Correct. What a great way to transfer knowledge.
It is actually happening now.
Wow.
We have organizations
happening right
doing
now.
things like that. Yes.
Wow. Yeah. That's fantastic. I love it.
It's great.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that you had a chance to talk to us, Roy. And I want to get a chance to see the demo.
Absolutely.
So is there anything you want to share before we go, and how can folks reach you?
The best way to reach us is all on our website, DAQRI.com. You can always follow me on Twitter at...
And it's DAQRI.
It's DAQRI.
Yeah.
It's not like the drink, but DAQRI.
Does that mean anything?
There's some history to it. When the company was started, they were doing things with QR codes, and so they wanted QR in the name.
Gotcha.
So there's some history there. But beyond it, really, our products are all around workforce augmentation. So we talk about WorkSense as a brand. I think that's the more important one. You can always reach me on Twitter. I always post things about AR and how that's transforming workforces specifically. My Twitter handle is just Ashok, RASHOK. Thank you for having me on the show. Yeah.
Roy, thanks so much.
Thank you, Lorne.
You've been listening to the Lorne Epstein Show. I'm your host, Lorne Epstein, here on 96.7 FM, Arlington, Virginia. Thanks so much.